Giving birth can be one of the most life-changing moments a woman can experience. But for those of us with narcissistic mothers, it can actually be filled with a time of guilt, pressure, and even trauma. I learned this the hard way with my first child, but with my second child, I decided to make a different choice. I surrounded myself with supportive women who truly understood birth and genuinely wanted to help me. And that changed everything. Today, I want to share my story and remind you that birth is sacred and that you have the power to decide who is there with you. When I was pregnant with my first child, I knew that I wanted support, but I didn't realize just how much that support or lack of it would impact my experience. My mother invited herself to stay with us for a few weeks before my baby was born, and even after he arrived, she stayed with us for a couple of weeks after that. I didn't have the heart to tell her no, and I thought that I had no choice. I thought it was normal for a mother to help her adult daughter during birth and recovery, but I learned the hard way that not every mother knows how to support a woman during the postpartum period or even care for a baby. During that time, everything became about her. Instead of feeling empowered and cared for, I felt emotionally drained. I was also healing from a third-degree tear, and on top of that, I was managing her moods, her needs, and her expectations. She frequently yelled at me during this time, even when I would be holding my sleeping newborn. Instead of being a source of comfort for me, she made everything harder. And when I look back, I realized that I was completely unsupported in the way that I truly needed. It wasn't until my child was almost 1 that I completely cut out my mother out of my life. It was one of the hardest but most necessary choices I've ever made. When I became pregnant with my second child, I knew I wanted a different experience. I wasn't going to let guilt or obligation or shame dictate who was in my space this time. Instead, I intentionally surrounded myself with women and resources that were uplifting and knowledgeable, who encouraged me and helped me prepare mentally and physically for an unmedicated birth. And when the day came, I couldn't believe how different it was. My second birth was calm, empowering, and peaceful. I felt safe and I felt strong. I never knew that birth could be like this. And for the first time, I fully embraced bringing life into this world. But as I held my new baby in my arms, a huge wave of grief washed over me, and I realized all over again what I had missed out on the first time. I didn't have the love and support I deserved back then. I exposed my first child to verbal abuse and negative energy daily, and that hit me hard. If you have a narcissistic or emotionally immature mother, you might feel like you don't have a choice but to include her in your birth experience. Maybe she demands to be there. Maybe she guilt trips you or makes you feel like a bad daughter for setting boundaries. I get it. I have been there. But let me tell you this, you have the right to decide who gets to be in your birth space. Birth is sacred. It's a moment of raw power, deep vulnerability, and transformation. The people you allow into that space should strengthen you, support you, and make you feel safe, not drain you, guilt you, stress you out, make things about them, or shame you. If you're struggling with this, here are some things to consider before deciding to have your narcissistic mother or narcissistic family members present. Number 1, does this person make you feel safe, supported, and calm? If their presence stresses you out now, Imagine how you'll feel in labor. Number 2, are they capable of respecting your wishes and boundaries? Some people say that they're supportive, but when the time comes, they make things about them. Number 3, do they listen to and respect your birth plan? If they have a history of disrespecting your wishes and choices, think about how they will treat you or have been treating you during pregnancy and potentially during birth. Number 4, would you feel free to be yourself fully and authentically? Birth is raw, and you want to be around people where you feel that you can truly be yourself around. 5, are you including someone out of guilt or obligation? Guilt is never a good reason to include someone in such a sacred moment in your life. I know how hard it is to set boundaries with a narcissistic mother, especially during a major moment in your life. But trust me when I say this, your birth experience is yours. You do not owe anyone access to such a special moment. And you deserve love and peace and calmness, and to surround yourself with people who are emotionally healthy, who can provide that for you. And if your mother or any other family member can't provide that, you have every right to keep them out of your birth space. If you're struggling with this, I want you to know that you are not alone. I've been there, and I promise you that it's okay to choose yourself, your baby, and your peace. If this resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you experienced something similar? How did you handle it? Let's support each other. And if you want more content on narcissistic abuse, setting boundaries, and healing, don't forget to subscribe. You deserve a birth experience that honors you. Right, to decide who is in your birth space. Bless you.